Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to talk about how to use Zoom so that you can schedule and have some virtual club meetings. So you're just going to open up your web browser and you're going to go to zoom.us and you can, I'm going to make another video that talks about Google Meet, so you can choose which you want to use. Zoom, there's a free version. That only has a 40-minute limit for any meeting size over 3 members. So under 3, you can have over 40 minutes, but if you have over 3 members attending the meeting, then you have a max time of 40 minutes. So for those of you who don't want to use Zoom, later in this video I'm going to talk about how to use Google Meet. So if you want to use Zoom, it's free. I already have an account, so I'm going to sign in. I'm going to put my email in, password. And then I'm just going to talk about what you need to do in order to make the meeting. So this is my profile, has my name. If you want, you can add a picture of yourself so that shows up. But if you're going to be doing live video, it doesn't really matter if you have the picture. I don't ever use any of this. This is just your personal meeting identification for your account, my email. It says my meeting capacity is limited to 100 people. This is how it will display the date and the time, and then my password information for my account. So what you need to do before you actually schedule a meeting, and when you schedule a meeting, you're going to go to the Meetings tab, and we'll do that in a minute. So it looks like I've already scheduled a meeting. So I'm going to show you how to do another one. You won't have anything here. I already tried doing this earlier. So you're going to want to go to settings, and there's a lot of settings that are already defaulted, and there might be some things that you want to change to make your 4-H meeting go a little smoother. So the things you're going to want to look at is the waiting room. So what is a waiting room? So when participants join a meeting, they can be placed in a waiting room, and that will require you to admit them individually. And I'm not really a big fan of the waiting room, only because sometimes somebody will be waiting and then I don't really realize that they're sitting there, and so they're just not able to join the meeting until I physically click them in. So if someone's joining late, you have to keep your eyes open for when they arrive to the meeting room. So I always have that off, so that way they just, as soon as they just join right into the meeting. But if you want to have it on, you can. So it's already requiring you to have a passcode. You can't change that option. So right here is important: embedded passcode and invite link for a one-click join. So what this means is when Zoom gives you the link, you click on the link and you don't have to type in the password. The password's embedded into the link, so that all you have to do is click once and you can join. So I always keep that on. Okay, so the rest of these I usually just leave on default. You can read through them if you'd like, but I'm not going to go through every single one of them. So to schedule a meeting. So host videos. The host is the creator of the meeting, which is going to be you. So you can start the meeting with your video on, and I always keep it off because I want to be able to turn my video on when I'm ready. I don't want to log into Zoom and then have it on automatically, but you can choose what you want. I usually keep mine off. Participant video, same thing. I usually, when participants enter the Zoom meeting, their video should be off, and then they can choose to turn it on when they're ready. So join before a host. Allow participants to join the meeting before the host arrives. I usually keep that off because you don't really want members sitting in the meeting room 10 to 15 minutes before the host arrives, because you can't really monitor what's going on. So I usually keep that off. So I have everything else I usually keep on default. Mute participants upon entry, I keep that off. You can choose to mute them and then they have to unmute themselves. I just keep it at the default. Okay, during the meeting, chat. So allow meeting participants to send a message visible to all participants. So there's a little chat box in the Zoom meetings. So I usually keep that on so they can send chat, and prevent participants from saving chats. Yeah, I don't want them to save chats. Private chat, so you can allow participants to send private one-on-one messages to each other. And I have that on. You can choose to have it off if you want to. So coming up, I have some 4-H Jeopardy themed games that you can do in a Zoom or a virtual meeting setting. And with Jeopardy, if you have teams, the private chat one-on-one to each other might be a good thing, so then they can discuss their answers before they give the answer, and that means they can discuss it in private so that no one else can hear what they're discussing. So you can choose to have it on or off. It's up to you. And then I never auto-save my chats unless you want to save the chats. And so hosts and participants can send files through the chat. So if they want, they can send a photo through the chat. You can turn it off or on. It's up to you. Screen sharing is a big one. So if you're going to play, for example, our 4-H themed Jeopardy game, you're going to want to be able to have the host share their screen because that's how everyone's going to see the game board. If you're doing a meeting where maybe members are practicing public presentations, all participants can have the option to share. So that way they can go through and share their screen and do their presentation and be kind of like in the spotlight for everyone to see what they're doing. And then this is important because if someone is sharing, who can start sharing when that other person is sharing and you want the host. So what that basically means is if someone's sharing the screen and they're done, the host can share and override their screen with their own screen. And so I usually keep that on and you want to save that. So what else needs to happen? So these are all just advanced options. Yeah. Customize your background. You can allow for videos and virtual backgrounds. So there's a thing called virtual backgrounds. Virtual backgrounds in Zoom. So you can allow people to have those virtual backgrounds if you want. I think that might be everything that we're going to worry about. Yep. Okay, so we're going to go back to the top. So that was just all under settings. So then now let's say you want to start a meeting. So you're going to go to meetings. So I already started a meeting, so you can see that I have an upcoming meeting that I have scheduled as an example at 6 p.m. on September 1st, but this isn't a real meeting. This is just something that I did earlier, and I haven't had any previous meetings yet. But anyways, so if you want to schedule a new meeting, you just go over to the side here, schedule meeting, so click on it. And let's say this is going to be our first 4-H club meeting. And then you can put a description for that meeting if you'd like to. And then when, so then pick a date. So let's see here. Let's say maybe we'll do it on September 3rd. And maybe we'll do it at, say you're going to have it at 6 p.m. And you're going to probably say it's going to last an hour. So this is the thing about Zoom. Your basic Zoom plan has a 40-minute time limit with 3 or more participants. Upgrading now costs money. So if you plan on having a meeting that's going to be over 40 minutes with more than 3 people, then I would suggest Google Meet. But if you are just meeting with a couple of people just to talk to them, I mean, if you're meeting with your whole club and it's less than 40 minutes, then this will work fine. If not, I'll show you how to use Google Meet in a minute. It's not a reoccurring meeting. It's just a one scheduled meeting. It already does the passcode automatically, so video. So you want the host and participant to be able to use video in this meeting, so we'll keep those on. And we don't want to enable join before the host. You can choose to mute participants upon entry if you'd like. Then they have to unmute themselves, and then you can automatically record meetings, but I'm not going to record any 4-H meetings, so keep that off. And then you save it. And then let's see here. So here's my meeting information, and then here is the invitation link. So this is what you're going to send out to people. So you're going to copy the invitation. So it's going to say, Catherine Roberts is inviting you to this Zoom meeting the topic, the time, and then the code for one-click join. So you'll click on that and it automatically joins them and they don't need the passcode. If they're going to join without the link, then there's the meeting ID and the passcode that this has generated automatically. So we'll copy it. And then what you do is you just go to your email and you paste it in there and you send this to the email and then they have everything they need. Hi everyone, so in our previous video we set up a Zoom account and we set up our first 4-H club meeting for September 3rd at 6 p.m. This was just a fake meeting that we are using as an example, but here is the link to join the meeting. So you're a member, what you did is you copied this information and then you sent an email out to your members and this is the link they have. And so when they click on the link, brings them to this Zoom page where they have to open. The site is trying to open Zoom meetings. You're going to want to open it. And it brings them, you're going to want to join with computer audio. So now the member has audio. And then, well, they can choose to use audio. So right now they're unmuted and they don't have the video. And so if they want to start the video, they just have to click on it. If they want to unmute, they just have to click on that. I'm not going to do it for the sake of this video, but that's how they would. So you can see here how there are the number of participants in the room. Obviously, I didn't send this meeting invitation out to anybody else. Plus the meeting isn't supposed to be until September. So there's only me in here. There's a chat option, so you can have Zoom chat with everybody, or you can make changes. So the participant can chat with no one, only the host, everyone publicly, and privately. So these are settings that you can, if you are on your Zoom account, you can actually change these settings and then so that they have options here, but you can also change them within the Zoom meeting. So if you decide that you don't want participants to chat at all at this specific moment in time, you click on no one. If you decide that you're going to be doing the 4-H Jeopardy and you want them to be able to chat privately so they can have conversations with each other about what their Jeopardy answers are, you can click on that option down here. So let's get rid of the chat. If you wanted to share your screen as the host, you can click on share screen and it gives you the bunch of options of what you want to share. So if you have your presentation open, you would just click on the presentation. Yeah, and that's it.